Hi everyone! In this tutorial, I'll show you how to create a shelving unit in Rive with 3 width options, controlled by a state machine. And I'll add a plant that moves with the shelf when width changes, to make our animation more playful. I made this shelving unit with line drawing style at medium width, so we can make it bigger or smaller later. When I create any object for animation, I think about real-life depths and how objects transform when resized. A quick tip: turn off Apply Transform in Stroke options to maintain like thickness when scaling. And I recommend always group and name your layers, even in small projects. Your future self will thank you when working on bigger projects. And last, everything goes in a root group that I only use when I need to move or scale the whole scene at once. Let's set up bonds. Bonds help us change size without adjusting shapes individually. You don't need to change paths for each shape on the timeline. Our shelving unit needs 3 width options with only the right side changing while the left stays fixed. To do this, I create bonds for both left and right sides, name them, and place them in the root group. Next, I bind them to each shape. I start with the outer frame. Select Bind Bonds and bind both left and right. To control which side moves, I set vertex values. Right vertex get 100 right bond, left vertex get 100 left bond. As a result, when I move the right bond, only the right side follows while the left stays fixed. Exactly what we need. To make our shelving unit look realistic, the top and shelves need to keep perspective. For right front vertex, I use 100 right bond to move fully with the wall. The back right vertex get 85 right bond. This creates that nice 3D effect. Left vertex stay at 100 left bond, since they shouldn't move. And I apply these same principles when binding bond to all the other shapes. After I binded all shapes, I place the plant inside the right bond, so it always stays attached to the right side when I change width. Perfect! All the bonds are bound. Now when I move the right bond, the width changes while maintaining perspective. It's time to set up our different width options. First, I switch to Animate mode and create a timeline called Width 1 for our smallest size. I just select the right bond and position it for the narrow width. Then I duplicate this timeline, rename it to Width 2, and adjust the bond position to make the shelf wider. Finally, I create a third timeline, the same way for our widest option. Super simple! We are ready to build the logic in state machine. I create a number input to control our width options, then bring all 3 timelines into the state machine and connect them in all directions. On the right panel, I go to Conditions, set specific values in each transition. From first width to the second width, I set value 1. From second to third, set value 2. And go to back to the smallest width, I set value 0. I apply the reverse logic in back direction. Let's test it. When I play the state machine and enter our values in the input, you can see it switches to the specific width option. But these transitions look a rouge. Let's make it smooth. I select all transitions in the state machine and change the duration to 300 milliseconds in the right panel where we were before. I also switch the interpolation from linear to cubic for a more dynamic animation. Let's try it now. Perfect! Now you know how to create configurable object controlled by bonds. Feel free to experiment and build your own.